I had to stop that because I heard it say powering down. I thought it was still connected to my Bluetooth speaker and that the volume wasn't going to be on the video when I stopped it, but it was, so my bad. What's their alternative? Well, I'll tell you their alternative because I've seen it time and time again. Their alternative is that if there's anyone else who they can violently beat into submission to go and write that statement to get them out of trouble, that's exactly what they'll do. Why? Because that's their only alternative. The only other alternative is to bite the bullet and do the time, take the charge and fucking shut your mouth. I've been in that position for the worst crimes you can imagine. Well, I'll rephrase that. One of the worst crimes you can imagine. Now, again, I will keep uploading videos about my life and talking about experiences and situations that I had to go through because of my own decisions. But my point is this. I'm apologising to anyone who I've ever scared, hurt, and especially traumatised or changed their life through my actions of violence, aggression, or basically schizophrenia when I used to be on drugs because I was just not well. I sit back now and I listen and see on the news and the newspapers and the radios and I hear about all this violence around our country, these young people killing each other, and it strikes at my heart because being able to understand now, I couldn't when I was doing it, when I was making all these very poor decisions, I didn't understand why I was doing it. Why someone that was intelligent, had family, had good opportunities, had the ability to go back to school, had the ability to go and get a job. I had the ability to do whatever I wanted with my life, but yet I couldn't understand why I felt the way I felt. Like I had to exert my aggression and my beliefs and my pain into the world the way I did. Now, sitting here, it fucking kills me that I done that because, as I've explained, I led so many young men and women down that path. Crime, violence, burglaries, robberies, home invasions, collecting drug debts, standing over drug dealers, you name it. And trust me, I enforced it, I encouraged it, and I pushed it like it was water running down a mountain. So that's what this is about for me. I need to rectify the volume and the damage that I did over that 20 years, from 10 to 30, because I don't know, like now that my life's changed and I feel different, I struggle to live with myself day to day knowing what I've done. And I can't explain that to people, even the people closest to me, because they're not me. They didn't do the things I've done. They haven't seen the lives I've wrecked, and they haven't gone through the things that I've gone through because of my own decisions. That's what I have to keep coming back to. Unless you're someone that's being forced to do something again and again and again, regardless of what happens to you and changes you, you are still the one making those conscious decisions to continue to throw your life down the drain. And while you're doing it, anyone that respects you, looks up to you, likes you, they are going to see what you're doing and they will try and attach themselves to you or around you. And if you continue to speak and live out and demonstrate by very poor example that life, it's only natural that they're going to follow. They're going to want to do it with you. And as I've said, for me, knowing that so many of my ex-best friends and some of my still best friends are still so deeply entrenched in that life, like that they could be in a house right now and if someone they don't like comes in there and they say, oh, what are you doing to your dog? Someone could die. I hate that. I can't, like, whether I like you or I hate you, I don't want to see your family go through you dying. I don't want to see your family waiting in the waiting room at the hospital because your skull's been smashed in. Like, you've got to understand, this is not about me trying to justify or make up for my life. It's more about me using my life to make sure other people don't follow my bad examples and end up regretting the best part of their life because of decisions they consciously made. So again, I'll go back to it. I want to apologise to every police officer, every correctional officer, and every citizen, civilian person that I've ever negatively and especially violently or aggressively affected in a bad way when it was uncalled for, when there was no need for it, and it could easily have been avoided or prevented if, I wasn't who I was at the time and the situation was different. But for me, I just need everyone to know that I am not the same person anymore. Like, when I say that, I mean it. But for those who do truly know me, I'll always be me. Like, I'm not someone that is ever going to change in a physical sense. It's my mentality and my core belief system that's changed. Like, now, I honestly know that if someone, for example, confronts me in a bad way, like they come up to me and say, oh, this video, let's use this video as an example. They come up to me and say, oh, you either take that fucking video down or I'll smash your head in. I'm simply going to say, I apologise if you don't accept or understand what I'm trying to do with these videos, but please let me be me and I'll let you be you, and let's go our own way. Now, having said that, if someone is going to take it upon themselves to be aggressive or violent towards me, I'm going to have no choice but to reciprocate to protect myself. So although I do not stand for violence, that is what I'm trying to get at. Like, you've got to find a place in your heart where, regardless of how you feel or what you think about someone else has done, doing, or has done, you can't, it's not on us as individuals to attack, be violent towards other people because of their actions. Now, I know this is going to be controversial because, as I said, people that I know that are close to me, they're still criminals. They're still in gangs. They still rule this place with a fucking iron fist. So that sort of shit is not up to the everyday citizen, the everyday person, to confront another person in the street, to go to another person's house, to fight someone in traffic in front. Like, all these things, it's unethical violence. It's unintelligent violence, because at the end of the day, you're the one that, obviously the people that you're doing it to will suffer as well, but like, you will suffer from this, because as time goes on, it builds in your mind that is how you react to everything that you stand against. So if someone says something, does something, or won't do something that you want them to do, but yet you've repeatedly used aggression and violence to put your point across, get what you want, or stop something you don't want happening, over time, your body doesn't know the difference. Your mind doesn't know the difference. You cannot differentiate between wanting something just a little bit or wanting it 100% and doing whatever it takes to get it once you get so far into that life. Why? I'll tell you why. Because ego and pride overrule everything when you're that person. The idea that you've punched on and fought people and bashed people and, done things that are just unthinkable to get what you want, the thought of someone just saying, fuck you, I'm not doing it, and you just go, okay, don't worry about it. That unfathomable. Won't happen. It will never happen. Unless, and I explained this in the last video, unless that bully, that standover, that aggressive, violent person is intimidated or scared by that other person that they're trying to make do something or not do something or get something from. Because fear will prevent them from doing what they've done to everyone else in that moment. So what I'm trying to say is, violence is not the answer. And until you're on the bad end of it, you'll never understand that. And, I pray for all of you that you do not find yourself on the bad end of it, because It will change your life. I'll be honest. Yeah, nearly every serious fight that I've ever had, it hasn't gone my way. Do you understand that? Like, every person that I've actually had real fights with, we're not talking boxing or anything like that. I'm talking real fights, jail fights, street fights. I've nearly died 4 times fighting in the street. And the sad reality is, because of the things I'd been through in my earlier life, every one of those 4 incidences should have opened my eyes and made me change my life, make better decisions. It didn't. Sadly, it didn't. It reinforced that I had to be crazier, take more drugs, carry worse weapons, and do crazier, more violent things when called upon to do it, or when required to do it, in order to prevent that from happening to me again. Like, it's so hard sitting there acknowledging these things, because during the time that it was taking place, I could not be told. I've had some of the most intellectually smart people that I still consider that to this day sit me down and tell me that I can be anything, I can change my life, I could go on to do a million things. I used to sit there with my ego on the end of my fucking nose saying, but I don't want to do anything else. I like my life. I love this. I love that everyone fears me. I love this. I love that. All the while, I'd spent the best part of my fucking youth and adulthood locked in a cell, alone, isolated, no letters, no phone calls, no visits, no one cared. And then every time I'd come back out, I'd have 100 friends. I'd have 16 brothers, 13 sisters, all the friends in the world, wanting to give me everything under the sun, but the intelligence or the words or the encouragement to stop living that life. So that's what this is about for me. Like, I truly pray that anyone that watches these videos, they take enough away from it by going and looking at my old life and looking at me right now and saying, well, if someone that literally chose to go from being a 10-year-old boy who couldn't fight, who was petrified of other men, young boys who were bigger than him or scared. Like, I was just a scared little boy when I went to Ashley's. Within 4 years, I was one of the worst kids there. Uncontrollable. Could smash things that no one else could break. Could fucking, you got no idea. I transformed myself through the pain and suffering that I continually chose to put myself through. And I'll be honest, like I said, being able to understand why I'd done that to myself, when, like I said, I had family, I had a brain, I had the opportunity to go back to school, I had all the things right there sitting in front of me for me to say, oh, I want to do this instead of this, but I just couldn't. That's why people that come out of that life like myself, it's frowned upon to get on here and talk about it. But I'm telling you right now, I don't give a fuck. And if you give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, if you sit there and you encourage anyone, especially people that aren't your family and don't have positive role models and brothers or sisters or mothers or fathers that care enough about them to remove people like me or people like you, if you're doing what I did, which is lure other people into that life to sort of reinforce that it's okay to live it yourself, the more people you have around you justifying your drug use, justifying breaking into people's houses, justifying robbing things, justifying ram raiding things, anything criminal, anything to do with drug use, anything to do with violence, anything that is unethical and just wrong, whether you got one person sitting there encouraging it, supporting it, financing it, pushing it, preaching it, it doesn't matter. The more people that are in that room that speak on the same toxic, negative shit, trying to push it down your throat, trying to get you to go and do things or whatever, the more likely you are to sit there and inhibit that information, retain it, and then go and use it. So the more individuals that come out of detention centres, come out of prisons, and get online and do their absolute best to articulate their lives to help other people walk away from that life, for me, all praise to you. And anyone that tells you not to do it, wipe them out of your life. Anyone that, like, I'm at that point where the next person that tells me, oh, Kane, did you ever think that sitting there talking about this stuff is the reason they shot your house up 5 times? No, it's not. I know the reasons. But why do people keep saying to me, oh, maybe you should just stop talking about your life and all the things that happened and this and that, and maybe, maybe it'll help. Fuck up. What do you know? What would you know about what's going to help me moving forward with my life when you didn't live my life? You know next to nothing about it other than what you've read in the paper or seen on TV. Oh, I get angry when that stuff. But anyway, for me, it's more about hoping, knowing and believing that every 30 seconds, let alone 16 minutes we're at the moment, that I spend sharing my story in a positive, reinforcing way to try and diminish the glorified image of that lifestyle. I just pray that it helps one person. One person a day would do me wonders. If I could actually know that I would never stop doing this. Even if I don't know if it's helping people, I'm never going to stop doing it. But the reward system behind this is it's invaluable, because for me, as I just said, I have so many people trying to tell me what to do with my life, trying to tell me how to, approach this sort of stuff, when in reality, I don't need anyone to tell me what to do, and I never did. And that's partly the problem, you know what I mean? As I just explained, when you're in that life and everyone's only encouraging you, only reinforcing what you're doing, and only saying things like, oh, fuck, you're a bad cunt. Oh, like just talking, blowing smoke up your ass for all the wrong reasons. It's so unhealthy and it's so unhelpful. It's like, I won't say that, but anyway, my point is this. I wanted to finish that last video before I upload other ones, because for me, I need people to understand that regardless, as I explained in that last video, you can be 13 years old, and at that time I was still one of the weaker ones of my friends group in the detention centre, because I was 13. Like I didn't grow up like a lot of my other friends that were coming through the detention centre with me. I only started that life at 10. A lot of my friends actually, they grew up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, seeing violence, seeing drugs, seeing things that they shouldn't have seen. I didn't. I only started seeing the things I shouldn't have seen at 10 years old. So, my point is this. Whether you're 13, 23, 33, 53, 103, if you think that unethical, unintelligent violence towards another human being is okay, or you try and justify it in any way, you're a piece of shit. It's that simple, okay? Yeah, I was a piece of shit. So I'm not sitting here trying to categorise other people. Like, I'm the first to admit I was a horrible person, and that's because I wanted to become that person. So, but yeah, whether you're 13 or 103, it is on you. It is your responsibility as a human being to make sure that other people aren't being hurt, traumatised for things that are unethical. If someone does something, like I said before, if someone confronts me and they physically assault me, I have every right to defend myself. Now, that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you're in that life and you're dealing drugs and you're doing crime and you're stealing people's cars and you're whatever, if the opportunity comes up, if the situation arises where violence is going to take place, if you have the option and the ability to avoid that, deter the violence, or completely make sure it don't happen, trust me when I tell you, if you don't, and it happens once, yeah, you'll feel bad, you'll get past it, you'll move on. But if it happens again, you'll feel less bad. If it happens again, you'll feel less bad, and so on, so on. But eventually what happens is, Because trust me, I've got friends, well, I'll rephrase that, they're not my friends anymore. I had friends that quite literally, kids would come into the detention centre, for example, and if I wasn't there, like in the same unit, in the same room, at the same time, these poor kids would just be assaulted, some sexually assaulted, some choked unconscious and dropped on their heads. Either way, violence would be administered to them as a way to find out whether or not they can be trusted. Are you fucking joking? Now, to some people, they're going to sit there and go, oh, well, you know, that's just the detention centre, that's just jail. No, that's a system that someone has put in place, like obviously people in the detention centre or in the jail, that is fucking sick in the head. Like at the end of the day, not everyone that goes to a detention centre or goes to jail belongs there, chose to be there, wants to be there, or needs to be bashed or tortured or vilified for any fucking reason, let alone just to find out if you can trust them. Like, shit like that gets me angry, and I try not to get angry because that's not what this is about. This is for educational purposes only. I want people to understand. This is another thing I want people to understand. I used to have people around me, right? Younger people that would come to jail for their first, second, third time, and they'd be saying to me, oh, Kane, fuck, we run the show. This is awesome here, mate. We got everything. Drugs, canteens, food, you name it. We got it all. And I used to just look at them and say, this time in jail, you can wipe that from your memory bank the moment you walk back out of here. Because something that you will all learn, I don't know what it's like in other jails around Australia, but I'd imagine it's very similar to what it was like and is like in ours. You can go to jail once and have your cousin, your brother, and your three best mates in a yard of 26 or 200 people. And yeah, you're safe, you feel good, you feel confident, you're cocky, you're arrogant, people will stand over other people. They'll attack their enemies, they'll behave in a way that clearly demonstrates they've never been on the bad end of it. As I said to you last time in the last video, people that bully people, stand over people, and will just resort to violence instantly for no reason other than because they're scum. It's generally 99% of the time because that person has not gone from living life, just whether you're in jail, on the street, in your workplace, it doesn't matter. Those people that conduct themselves in that way have not gone from just breathing normally, enjoying life, comfortable, happy, to literally thinking you're about to fucking die because someone's attacking you, jumping on your head, kneeing you in the face, choking you, hitting you with things. And trust me, you don't want to experience it for it to change how you think and view the world. But yeah, you can go to jail one time and think it's your own. Guess what? You'll go there the next time and you'll feel like, oh, Jesus. As I explained in that last video with the violent incident where my old friend was near stabbed to death and bashed to death and they were basically going to try and kill all of us. The times I went to jail before that, I thought me shit didn't stink. Fucking 17 years old, throwing riots, fucking fighting cunts, whatever. I thought the world was mine. Guess what? The next 4 times I went to jail, all the toughest cunts that I knew from the north were terrified of being in there. Terrified! Fucking terrified! I'm not joking ya. So, 18, 19, 20-year-old me, I'm just like, all these cunts that I thought were tough as nails, they're sitting in protection! What the fuck? Here I am, and a couple of my mates, we're in mainstream, surrounded by cunts that want to fucking kill us. And where's all these tough cunts? Where's all these gang leaders? Where's all these 28-year-olds that run the jail before that incident that I referred to in the last video? Oh, they're stuck in super maximum because of their charges. Oh, they can't come to the yard because there's too much tension. Oh, so it's okay to chuck 5 of us in here, but the other 9 get to sit over there where they're fucking safe. mouthing off to the cunts that will eventually try and kill us, but that's normal. No, they're weak as piss. They were fucking scared shitless to come into that yard because they knew if they come in there, it wouldn't have waited until dipshit decided to smack one of them up the head for us all to be near killed. They would have just attacked us all the moment our numbers started growing. That's why the other cunts wouldn't come to our division. The cunts that were meant to protect us younger ones and all the rest of it. But anyway, my point is this. Don't be deceived by situations just because you feel and think some way about it. Because trust me, you will leave that place and walk back into it sometime in your life. That's happened to me countless times where I've had the worst reality checks you can imagine. And unfortunately, this is what I like to acknowledge. I love to acknowledge it, actually. I was that unstable because I was unmedicated. I was that hurt. I was struggling with the death of my father, the incompetence of my family, not my family like my brothers and sisters, but my mother and the men that she had in her life. I was struggling with going through the detention centre from 10 to 17, not having a single visit, phone call or letter from family or friends or anything like that. I was so disconnected from the real world and what life was meant to really be like and how I should really feel. I didn't know love. I didn't know caring about myself. You know, I didn't give a fuck. So, how many times? Oh, I don't know. Probably 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. I lost count. How many times I was seriously hurt, psychologically traumatised, and genuinely questioned the decisions I was making in my life. Crying, looking at myself in the mirror after these incidents going, what are you doing? You're going to die. Like, sooner or later, you're going to die. Or some cunt's going to put a scar across your face that makes no cunt recognise you. Or something bad's going to happen. And I used to be terrified growing up thinking about these things. But then I'd think about my life and what alternatives I had, what people I had to help me walk away from that life and make better decisions. I had no one. I'll rephrase that. I had my father's family, who I had let down immensely, and the guilt and shame was too much for me to go back to them beyond the age of 14 and say, look, I fucked up, I made terrible mistakes, and I am now scared for my life. My ego and my pride was too much for me to say that to the only people that could have probably helped me and saved me. So what was my alternative? Shut me mouth, bite the bullet, and just fucking push on. So, here's the thing. I don't want people, I don't want anyone, and I mean this. I don't want anyone to go through the things that I went through, which will ultimately make you a bad person. Because if you continue to put yourself in situations where bad things happen to people around you that you care about, people around you don't care about, and more importantly, yourself, but yet you use drugs, violence, and going in and out of jail and projecting that onto other people to deal with it, I promise you, sooner or later, it took me till I was, how old was I? 27, when I had that first siege with Tasmania Police's SOG team. The last 2 times I went to jail was because my life had finally caught up to me. I could be sitting in a room with 5 people, 5 brothers, that we'd all sit there and say we loved and trusted and respected one another and we'd die for one another. After about 3 hours of drug use, I'll be sitting there, I couldn't leave my wallet on the table. If one of them pulled out a fucking gun, I'd have to get up and make sure that if they pointed in my direction, I could snatch it before they pulled the trigger. Like, it's a horrible way to live. And it got to the point where I couldn't cope. Like, the drugs, the history, the trauma, the flashbacks, the thoughts of the possibilities of what could take place in rooms full of people I trusted become so overwhelming that I was about this far away from never being out here again, throwing my life away. And it's so hard for me to admit this because it makes me sound fucking crazy, but those last 2 times that I went to jail for those sieges, if you ask anyone that was around me, they probably thought I was going to kill them. Not for anything, just because I didn't trust them. I was unstable, and because of everything that had happened in my life, I could not think clearly. I could not. It's so hard for me to say these things, but again, I really hope everyone that listens to it, takes enough away from it to go, fuck, look at this cunt, like, look at where he's come from, look at where he is now, and listen to what he's saying. Like, it is a fucking miracle that I'm sitting here able to articulate this to you, because, trust me, ask anyone that was around me before those 2 last times I went to jail, they'd have told you, he ain't going back to jail. Promise you. That's what they'd have said. This cunt ain't going back to jail. Not the first time nor the second time it happened, because that was how I was acting and behaving and speaking, and the aggression and the hate and the hurt that I was projecting through my words and my actions, smashing things, making people smash bits of wood around my legs, throwing darts at me back, you name it. Dangerous driving to the point where I don't know how I've never crashed and killed myself or someone else. I can write a list of things that I used to knowingly do in a way that people wouldn't go, oh, you're fucked in the head, you're self-harming. That's self-harm. Oh, fuck. So you will get to a point, if you continue down that road, where your life will just come crashing down around you. And I am so grateful for this, that when my life come crashing down around me, I was able to make sure that I went to prison when I had to. Don't get me wrong. I may have made a fuckwit of myself, and once the police come to my house both times, I couldn't accept that I was going to go to jail just because I was drug fucked and my life had caught up with me. So what did I do? I used my anger, my aggression, and I projected it towards the police. As always. Having standoffs, setting fire to the house. Second time I set fire to myself. But I try my best not to get happy on these videos, but I won't lie. Like, I'm sitting here now and I feel elated that I've been able to say all of this, because you don't know how much shit I've got bottled up inside of me that I need to share, that I need to say, and that I want to help people with, because it sounds like arrogance, but this is the truth of the matter. The life I've lived is movie worthy. It is fucking book series worthy. And in good time, all those things will happen, trust me, because I'm not going to let my life's experiences go to waste. It's not about me wanting to be glorified or wanting to glorify that life or glorify my existence. It's because if I can do all of those things on top of using the podcasts, using these self-talk videos, and as I said before, it changes one person's life, that for me, as a reward-based system, will only project me harder to make me want to help more, make me want to talk more. So, yeah, let's get it. Like I said, fuck man, seeing that 13 and 16-year-old boy attacked and stabbed to death by 8 other young people last night, fuck me. Like, dead set, that, oh. Can you imagine what those 2 young boys went through? Just leaving a basketball game, and then they got 8 people. I've been 3-outed and 4-outed. I'm telling you now, it's the most terrifying thing. I've fought people one-on-one that have kicked the fucking life shit through me. But guess what? When it's only one person, it's not scary. Yeah, you're getting bashed, big whoop. When there's 2, 3, 4, in these 2 young men's cases, 8 individuals attacking you, I promise you, your first thought is run, your second thought is I'm dead, and your third thought is I'm dying. Fucking trust me, it's a horrible feeling. And if you've never felt like that, again, don't be a bully, Don't be a standover. Don't use violence as your first or last resort because I promise you, the day that you are on the receiving end of that, it will fucking change your life. It will open your eyes to things that you will not see until you're put in that position. And, you know, like, oh, fucking mate, like, just thinking about that could make me cry sitting here because, as I said, I've got friends in my state, in my city. It takes 10 minutes to get from one end to the other. 10 minutes to get from one end to the other. So this is what makes me laugh. People in my state, in my city, they have people that they say they're going to kill and they're going to shoot and they're going to bash and they're going to fucking ram off the road and they're going to do all these things. We all live within 10 minutes of each other. Are you fucking retarded? Like, it's no way to live. I promise you. As I said in that last video, I've lived that life and had to continue living it even this 6 years that I've been out because of the choices I made prior to changing my life. And as long as I stay here, I'll have to continue to live that life. Well, I'll rephrase that. I'll have to continue to keep looking over my shoulder and living like I'm having a constant fucking panic attack every day I'm here. I only worked this out when I went to Thailand and didn't have to carry fucking knives, didn't have to carry pepper spray every time I left my house, didn't have to fucking look over my shoulder every 50 metres down the road while I'm walking at oncoming traffic, because I never walk when it's coming by me. Gives you less of the opportunity to dodge a fucking oncoming car up the footpath anyway. And yeah, I realised in that 5 weeks that I was in Thailand, my skin got better, I ate more food, I sat like without my back to the wall at doors entering venues, all so many little things that were systematically inbuilt into myself to protect myself at all times. They gradually went away after about a week of being in Thailand because I realised I'm not in a fucking war zone. I'm not having a constant panic attack thinking about all the things that could happen. Like, these videos, I tell you what, I feel a massive weight off my own shoulders when I do these. Like, and the fact that I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror before I went to Thailand, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? Like, look at me. I'm no fucking ugly cunt, but like, imagine waking up every day and seeing yourself and saying, oh, you scum, what have you done with your life? Fucking look at whose lives you've ruined. Look at all the shit. Like, and that's what I do not want for any of you. I do not want you to come to a point in your life where you've done so much fuck shit and accepted and allowed fuck shit to happen around you where it affects you so badly that the moment you haven't got hard drugs in your system, you'll have a fucking mental breakdown. I promise you. And that's not me being sinister, sarcastic, negative, or toxic. That's me sitting here telling you right now that from the age of 10 to 36, because I can say this now because I'm finally completely drug free. From the age of 10 to 30, I used every drug imaginable just to cope, just to be able to live the life I lived and do the things I'd done. Once I got out of prison after those 2 sieges, I made a decision that I would never use amphetamines again because they fucking altered my mind, my emotions, and dictated my actions in ways that I had no control over once my drug use got out of hand. Basically, 4 weeks after using, every time since I was, say, 17, that's it. 4 weeks into using amphetamines, and I was someone that you did not want to fucking be around because I was schizophrenic is basically the easiest way to put it, and a very serious criminal. Someone that carried weapons, carried guns, stole cars, drove erratically, had cop chases, ram-raided shops, tried to, But here's my point. Going to Thailand for that 5 weeks made me realise all these things that I'd done and experienced and went through and let myself go through and put other people through, and everything that I accepted throughout that 26 years, it would have been impossible for me to do that unless I was on hard substances and drugs. Because just in that 5 weeks of being in Thailand, sitting there reflecting, even on the 6 years I've been out with no amphetamines, but I was addicted to Suboxone and cannabis, the difference in my emotions, my thoughts and my feelings within 1 week of being in Thailand. My Facebook posts kind of reflect the radical change in my posting and the things I was talking about. But trust me, it doesn't truly demonstrate how different I now feel and what it's done to me, ridding my body of all drugs, not just amphetamines. This whole time, I'm talking about Thailand and since being home, I'm a different person. And as much as I was saying to myself, I can't believe this, what have I done, fucking how did it take so long? Now, I wake up every morning hollering, music blaring, straight in the shower, doing sit-ups, fucking cooking, cleaning, you name it. I'm on top of the world. Every day, gratitude is my first thought, my first feeling, and my first action. I pat my dogs, I walk around my house, and I'm on top of the world. The last 6 years, I've accomplished some of the most incredible things I've ever been able to achieve in my life because I wasn't on amphetamines. But yet people would say to me, "Oh, Kane, geez, you've done amazing, man. The things you've accomplished are just, you should write a book." They'd literally say things that would make a normal person that wasn't on any drugs just get the biggest ego. It would inflate their pride. They would want to just go and keep overachieving. For me, every time someone said, "Oh, Kane, geez, you look so good, you're doing so well, who knows what you could accomplish," all that was blowing smoke up my ass because most people didn't know I was still a fucking raging drug addict. Now, Suboxone may be a prescription drug that you get from your doctor, that they give to everyone they possibly can in jail to make sure that when you come out, you either stay addicted to that or, unfortunately, most people go back to using ice or heroin or morphine. I've never been a morphine or a heroin addict, but for some reason, I was a Suboxone addict for nearly 12 years. I got on it the first time in jail, and every time I was in jail, I would get on it because ice and things like that are not easy to get into the prisons. But yet the prisons supply the Suboxone, so it's not hard to get that. Anyway, the point is this. Without hard substances, all these decisions that you're making, all these things that you accept day to day, sitting around people you don't trust, that's a big one, right? If you, and I'm talking to any of you, if you're in a shed or in a house right now, I want you to look around. Have a look around at everyone sitting in the room, right? And ask yourself this. Would you leave your wallet? If you've got money in your wallet, just think about this. If you don't know how much is in there, $20, $120, $1,020, it don't matter. Would you confidently throw that wallet on the table and then go home that night and come back the next day and be satisfied that the same amount of money would be in there? Now that's a base level example because money, any junkie, any criminal, anyone that ain't your best friend or your brother, like family, guess what? If the opportunity presents itself and they don't believe that you will be able to prove that they took something, they'll fucking take it, okay? Don't be a fucking idiot. It doesn't take a rocket science to work it out. Here's the thing. If you weren't on drugs, would you knowingly sit in the same room as someone that you can't trust? Would you sit in the same room as someone that you know has done things to you that you would not forgive, would not get over, and would probably get aggressive or violent over if they did it to you when you were straight? I can tell you the answer to that. For me personally, the answer is no. Because the amount of people that I've had to cut out of my life in the last, I'll say 18 months, because some things that I'm still not able to talk about yet, but I will in good time, made me realise that regardless of how much someone says they're there for you, or they love you, or they'll always, have your best interests, it doesn't matter. You can be going through the hardest, most impactful, when I say impactful, like affecting you so badly, situations in your life, and yet these people will mistreat you, speak to you like your feelings are not warranted, or they won't try and validate them. They will treat you worse, because as something I've learned, when people are used to you only one way, literally the moment you start trying to be a different version of yourself, they are going to project their insecurities onto you. They are going to say things to you that will hurt your feelings. They are going to say things to you that will make you question your decision making. They are going to say things to you that will make you go, why is this happening? It must be me. It must be because of what I'm doing. It's because of what I said. It's because of how I feel now. I'm trying to change or push this view or whatever. Here's the reality. How many times in your life have you heard someone say, you are the company you keep? Show me who your closest 5 friends are and I'll show you your future. All that sort of shit. When the people around you only see their life going one way and ending in one way, and you come in with even the slightest alteration to that belief system, you're a threat. You are a fucking threat. You now undermine what they're trying to do every day, which is justify the way they live and be comfortable, happy, and buoyant in the way they live. They don't want someone coming in and saying, oh, it's all good and well to sit here and sell drugs all day, but what about if you get raided? Shut your mouth, fuckhead. You know what I mean? No cunt wants to hear that. Some cunt sitting there fucking cleaning their fucking sawn off 22 that'll probably end up shooting themselves with. Oh, mate, you don't need that. What are you carrying that? Fuck up, idiot. I've got enemies. Like that. They do not want to hear positivity. Because if you try to project positivity into someone that is projecting hatred and pain and suffering, and they want to see everyone else supporting what they're doing so that it's not a big deal and they don't have to think about what they're doing, they can just do it and people are encouraging it and supporting it, trust me, you're a threat. The moment you speak or act or behave any way contradictory to what you've been doing or how they know you, all of a sudden something's going on. You're a sly cunt. You've been up to something. Fucking hell. Anyway, again, if these things make me a dog, woof woof. Have a fucking great day.